All right, let's review the high conviction alerts channel that we just opened up. We've been testing it for a few days, and now we opened it up to you guys. I'm going to go over what do I have? I think I've got like 8 or 9 different plays here that have shown up since the, last 10 hours or so since I went to sleep. So today it's December 28th, 2024. It's about 11:50 my time. I'm in the U.S. Central Time. So I've already pulled these. This one that just showed up, don't worry about it, because not only is it too high of a market cap, 4 million, I'd rather find something lower. And I did adjust this to where it'll only show, I think, between 100K market cap and 3 million market cap. I mean, we'd like to find something under 1 million if we can. So that's kind of mostly what I'm looking for. But let's just look at these, how they're playing out in real time. Where the alert showed up is where this box is. So the thing to understand is that on these high conviction alerts, and I've already mentioned this a couple times, but I'll mention it again in this video, you're usually only going to get a 2x or a 3x on the first initial pump. But there's something you need to look at before you get into these. I don't know that the trench bot matters as much on these as it does with the CA plays, but you could still check it. But I guess the important thing is that you are making sure it's not in a downtrend when the alert happens. So right here we see, and you need to keep using this. I mean, if we're just using the MACD, it's clear it's in a downtrend because not only are all these candles, red down here on the histogram, but also the blue fast-moving average crossed below the orange slow-moving average, and that happened right where it went from green to red right here. So if it's in a downtrend, maybe you don't want to take the trade, and it's probably a better idea not to. And in that case, what you could do, if you really wanted to, wait to see if this one was going to hold its area, what you need to be watching for, let's say if we just see this on the alert, we can connect a couple of these lower, whatever you want to call them, it's kind of like a support level. You can just connect 2 lines or 2 areas right here with the wicks. And I'm on the 1 minute market cap, or 1 minute channel. 1 minute channel, what am I? Sorry, I've got a headache. I didn't get much sleep. So I'm on the 1 minute chart, and you're connecting these bottoms here. And if you were just looking at this, everything looks good, right? I mean, it had a cross up. It would have been great if we could have got in down here, right? But we didn't. The alert came in later, which is right here. It's in a clear downtrend, but you've connected your dots here. You've connected your lines. And now you're going to be watching to see if it comes back down here. And maybe you take a position right when it hits this line. And then, if it gets below, if a candle closes below, you just get out, right? But so far, this is trending perfectly, right? I mean, if you would have drawn this way back here, you could have taken a chance, and it's all a risk, but you could have taken a chance to buy right at this line and then buy again even if it touches it again. And so far, if you would have done that, you'd be up a 2x at minimum. And sure, the alert didn't work out perfectly on this one, but I'm going to show you how it did on some other ones. There's no way we're going to get 100% win rate on this. I mean, you're going to have to apply some of these methods. And if you are in the DGen channel and doing these plays, then I assume that you're willing to do a little bit of extra work to make money. I know people that do long-term trades, they don't want to put too much time in it because they're busy. But, if you're willing to do these things, then you can make some money, but you have to practice them. So yes, the alert came in here if you were just using Bollinger Bands. And you can use these together if you want, but we'll just take them one at a time. So Bollinger Bands, it is above the midline here. This is probably why some of the smart money bought. So what we know about high conviction alerts is that we're waiting on 5 smart money wallets to enter before it gives us a signal. And once it does that, we're looking for a 2x or a 3x. We're just looking for a quick play, but you can turn these into a longer term play if you want, but you have to apply some of these methods. And I'm not saying they're going to work every time, but a lot of times they do. So what you could have done here is, as soon as this broke below the line here, you could have just gotten out and saved yourself a lot of money. And then look how it rejected the Bollinger Band here and came back down, touched the bottom of the Bollinger Band at the same time that it was touching this line. And then eventually, it did fake out one time here, but eventually it got back above right here. So if we look at MACD, it was green pretty much from this point on, from here up. So I'm not saying to use either one of these by themselves or together. I'm just saying, find which one of these methods works best for you. Maybe it's even the line method here. And then of course your other line that you would draw is up here at these. You'd look at it this way, or if this ended up being a top right here, you would connect that one. You have to do these things in real time. It's not easy. If we look at this right here, connecting these lines, once it got below there, we knew that things were bearish, at least temporarily. But this was a very big resistance area as price was moving. So this is what we would have been looking at the time, and it broke above it, and that meant it was going to go higher. If you had bought that, you would have hit roughly a 2x as well. But this is just stuff you have to practice, right? I mean, you're not going to get it right away if you don't use these all the time. So anyway, this one here was not a good trade. It went up about 60% after the alert, but it didn't hit 2x, so we would consider it a failed trade just based on the fact that the alert wasn't good. And it's not going to be good every time. But again, you could have saved yourself money here by waiting on the MACD to cross back up, or drawing yourself some lines, which, really this bottom line is all you need, technically. All right, okay, let's go to the next one. And I think I mentioned this, but here is here's the Degen alert bots. Here's high conviction alert bot right there. This is the new one. So here's Lumia. This one, it's kind of hard to see the box here. Somebody had pointed out that this was a bad trade, and technically it wasn't. I don't know if this is actually what they were saying or not, but technically it wasn't a bad trade. It did give a 2x. I have to put it on the 1 second chart actually, because it was too new. So yeah, we missed the initial pump. Would have been great to have it, but we didn't get that one. I wouldn't use the Bollinger Band on a 1 second chart. I mean, you could, but it's too much noise. I don't even know that you could use the MACD in this case. I guess you could have, yeah. Anyway, this one did the reason I have the box here is because the alert first showed up here, and then this was like, a couple seconds later. I'm just assuming that somebody's not going to get it right when it pops up. Or sorry, it's a couple minutes later. So this is like a 1 to 2 minute window to get in. And let's say you just took half of that. So this was a 2x technically. You could have made money, or you could have at least taken your initials out on this one. So that's what you want to be looking for, is a 2x minimum on these. Something messed up with the chart there. I'm just going to go on to the next one. Pythia, this is one that actually showed up. I mean, we played this one pretty early, and it showed up again. Clearly it's above the Bollinger Band. Clearly the MACD was turning up. This was the alert in high conviction channel. So you could have taken this one, and it would have given you 140% gain. So, if you had your auto sell for your bot, and if you want a bot to use, the one that I use, just check the description below, and it'll have a link there. You can check out the one that I use. But if you have your auto sell set up, then this would have sold automatically for you on a 2x from this move, and you had plenty of time to enter this trade. I mean, these are the type of trades that you don't want to be entering like a minute, like 2 minutes after the trade. You have to be watching actively and try to get in, pretty quickly as soon as it alerts. All right, what else do we have here? Where's my box? Okay, there's the box. So the alert on Sky AI happened here, roughly. This was a 550. This was a 7-minute window to enter. So we'll just take the middle of it, and you would have made a 3x on this one if you would have had your auto sell set up. I think that did it keep going? No, it had a double top here. But notice here how I put the line. I was just talking about this one earlier in Degen chat. I was saying, number one, watch out for the 1 million market cap support area. Usually it holds there if it's had a big move, and then it comes back down. If it doesn't hold this area, then it's probably coming back down to, anywhere from 300 to 600K market cap. Could be as low as 200. But if it loses 1 million, you're probably just not interested in it anymore. But you can also draw this line, and I'm just connecting as many of the bottoms as I can. I know I didn't connect this one perfectly right here, but I want to connect as many of these as I can right there, along with this one. I could have even taken this one instead. But either way, it works. And what you would have been looking for is here to buy at this area. It did dip below it temporarily, but it stayed above support, and then it took off. So you could have made another, if you use these methods, you could have made another 126% on this one. So know that these will give you another buying opportunity sometimes, but you'd have to be watching pretty closely. Okay. So let's see, we've got another alert here. These are all tokens that showed up within the last 10 hours in the high conviction alerts channel. So this gave you probably like a 10-minute or more window to get in here. We'll just take the middle of it. That gave you 120% gain. When you see wicks like this, people have their auto sells set up here and they were selling here. So I'm not saying you would get out exactly there, but you would have gotten out somewhere here. So if you want to, you have to decide how you want to do this. Either you want to just take all your profits out at 2x and just keep trying to make 2x plays and building your portfolio, but use good risk management as well. Don't just like take your whole wallet and throw everything at these hoping that it'll double it. That's being too risky. You need to keep your entries low based on how much you're putting in at each play. I would never put more than 10% of your total DGen wallet into one play. In fact, I try to do 1 to 5%. So if you've got like $1,000 wallet of capital, then you'd be putting in anywhere from $10 to $50 per play. And I realize that a lot of fees will get eaten up within that, but eventually you'll build your wallet up and you can, you just keep using that 1 to 5%. So say if your wallet grew to 10,000, then at that point you'd be putting in $100 to $500 per play. So, it compounds eventually. So yeah, we looked at that one already, didn't we? At the time, here's what we were looking at. MACD was turning up. It was clearly in an uptrend. All this was green. In fact, it was looking even better at the time. You just got a cross up at that point. And then Bollinger Bands, we can look at that. It was also in an uptrend. You could have waited for it to get above there. So you can see how these work for sure, even in real time. Let's see, we got 4 more to go. I just want to keep showing these so you can see what would be a good trade and what wouldn't be a good trade. And you can also check the Twitter and stuff like that if you want to, but these are quicker plays in a lot of cases. Sometimes they will keep going, but these are just like in and out plays, because I know some of y'all wanted things like that where it was higher conviction for a quicker play. If you want a play that's going to be higher possibility of, a long-term 100x, which, that's the high end, you're usually not going to see those, but we have seen them, then you'd want the CA alert bot, which we're going to keep improving both of these, but for now they're giving us really good results and we're happy with it. But just understand that the win rate's probably going to be somewhere between 30 to 50%, which is still very good, but you are going to get losses and you need to minimize those losses. So in this case, we're in a downtrend on MACD, the blue crossed below the orange. It's all in the red down here. So even though this alert came in, here's what we were looking at the time. It doesn't look good. So we wouldn't have taken this trade, right? Bollinger Bands, it was below the Bollinger Band. Just doesn't look good, right? Okay, 3 more to go. Here's an alert for Butthole Coin. And you had a window of, how much is this? I don't know, 10 minutes or so. And you only made a 60% on this one. So, this one didn't work out, unfortunately. But what you could have looked at the time was this. If you had gotten in here and then you saw a cross down the MACD and it's starting to turn red, you could have just gotten out. You would have broken even. Because you bought here, you would have sold somewhere in here. That was plenty of time to get out. What else? Did it show it on the 1 minute? I mean, I prefer to go to the highest time. Oh yeah, this is the 1 minute, okay. I always prefer the highest time frame I can get, but like if we went to the 5 minute, well, yeah, it was even showing on the 5 minute. That's good. But you're going to get a delayed reaction on the 5 minute. So, when a coin is pretty new, it's probably better to stay on the 1 minute for a while. And then Bollinger Band is going to react. Well, no, it reacted pretty good here. It got you out. You would have made a small profit actually with Bollinger Band here. So, use these for sure. Actually, they were both about the same time, weren't they? Yeah. On this candle. Yeah. So you could have easily gotten out of this. But, these type of plays are for active traders that are watching the charts. So, be aware this takes more time to do this kind of trading. All right, here is another one that didn't work out for us. One thing you could have known here to not take this play is that the two lines were below the midline here. So there's a line right between. So you got the green candles up here, you got the red candles down here on the histogram, and there is a center line like right in, it's splitting these. Anytime these two lines are under here, usually it means the token is very bearish. Kind of like with a 50 RSI, if it's below the 50 RSI, it's bearish. So I wouldn't have even taken this trade to begin with because of that. And it's under the Bollinger Band, so there you go. It's not a good trade. You wouldn't have taken this if you were using these methods. Okay, here we've got Jung. I was watching this one last night before I went to sleep. We drew our line here connecting all of these wicks. You could have bought, like say you didn't start connecting these lines until here, and then you finally got a wick, or even a couple of wicks here. I mean, you could have waited to see how these wicks were working out. You could have bought there, you could have bought there. You don't have to wait for alerts on these if you're already watching a chart. You can use this method as well. And then as soon as MACD turns up, then you could have taken a trade or taken it at these lines. But notice how both lines are above the 50, they're above this midline right here. So that means that the token is bullish, but you do have to watch for a cross down right here anytime this happens, because that means it could be turning bearish, and it did later on right here. It created a lower high. But as far as the signal goes, you could have bought anywhere here within a 4 minute window, and you would have only made about 60 to 70%. So didn't quite work out. So I hope this reinforcing these methods that are good to use in real time will help you. I want you all to make money, but understand that if you're going to trade this way on short-term plays, you have to be at your computer or at your phone watching it, at least every minute. Just check in every minute. Well, I guess you're watching all the time if you're looking at it every minute, but just check in as you have time, as you're actively in the trade, and see if these things are still working out for you. If it crosses down, then get out. Play it safe. If you get your 2x, take all of it if you want. Generally with these type of plays, you do want to just go ahead and take it all at 2x, all of your profit. But I have seen a few that have, kept going. We have tested this thoroughly, and 2 to 3x is generally what these give, because you're getting in late. You're getting in after all the smart money has already entered. So you're kind of relying on retail to push it the 2 or 3x for you. But at least you know that there's a lot of smart money involved, right? So that's what we're looking for. All right, let me know if you have any questions on this.